If you're listening on ESPN Madison, you just heard Tauscher from yesterday saying that in years to come, if Christian Watson plays like we expect him to, we're going to feel really good about this contract.
You understand, like, who are the wideouts coming up that are studs that are going to be getting paid market value?
It's a good question. I did not look at that. I did look at where.
Let's just say Roma Dunze down in Chicago.
Who we don't even know how good he is.
He's a good player, but obviously young. Don't know. Yeah, exactly. If he starts on that track of being a stud one and he's Caleb's guy and all this, he's going to be $50-some-odd million a year.
So the current landscape of how wide receivers are getting paid, the Packers' 2 contract commitments to Jayden Reed and Christian Watson are in total, if they got every penny that is in each of their contracts, would total $160.75 million.
That's all in?
Yes.
Okay.
Jackson Smith and Jigba's contract is $168.6 million.
For 4 years.
For one player.
For how many years?
For 4 years.
Yeah.
So when you look at the cost that we are talking about here, it's roughly $51 million in guaranteed money. Watson at $31 million. And again, the Packers, they announced the contract yesterday, which means the contract has been filed with the NFL and the NFLPA. So we should have more details today or tomorrow on what it is structured as. But I don't know about you, Tausch. I'm guessing there aren't a whole lot more guaranteed dollars in this. And if it's only $31 million in a signing bonus and a couple of base salaries, that is not nearly the $60 million fully guaranteed at signing that Alec Pierce
I need
got.
some help. I need some help understanding this because you're going through all of this, and immediate reaction yesterday was awesome job by the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a call if you don't think that's the case, because I don't understand it. I don't understand our fan base looking at this anything but saying, great job, Russ. Great job, Green Bay Packers, of doing this, because you just went through all of it. I just told you kind of how things are projecting, and the only thing I can think of is obviously he's missed games. It happens. Even if Christian Watson gives you 12 games a year at this, what he does when he's out there producing, and his numbers, you went through it yesterday, very similar to some of the some of these wide receivers that have played 17 weeks. Now, is he Drake? Is he any of these guys that have been paid $45 million a year? He's not right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen him at his potential, and I get a lot of grief when I bring this up, but it's the truth. In his rookie season, there's only one other rookie wideout that has ever produced the way Christian Watson did in a 6-game stretch. Now, I know it's 6 games. Great. What do we always say? How do we evaluate rookies? Do we evaluate them at their worst?
No, the Homer
Or do we
rule.
evaluate them at, boy, this is what this could look like? Now, you're going to get stung sometimes with that attitude, but he has shown when he's healthy, he is a dynamic football player.
Mm-hmm.
And he changes the way Matt LaFleur calls games, and he changes the way defenses have to cover this team. So that's where I just have a hard time understanding, and I want people to explain it to me because I want to hear. I want you to tell me this is why this is a bad move. This is why I think the Packers were. But outside of saying, well, he's injury prone, he never plays, I don't know what other solution, what other answer you could give me that I would look at and say, now, if you think that he is just a mid, like Jesse, a mid wideout, I couldn't disagree with you more.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Alan Lazard.
And the facts would not back that position.
He ain't Alan Lazard.
He's
I hope
not-
have you finally come to grips to say he's not Alan Lazard?
He's not Alan Lazard.
First off, Alan Lazard is a blocking fool.
I said when I made that comparison that
You were having a conversation about it.
their skill sets are completely
What would
different.
Pat
Their body
Murphy say
types
about
are
that
completely
But then you
different.
still compared him. So just wait a second. They don't catch the ball the same way. They don't run like it. They don't block like it. But I'm still going to comp
They're
the
not
two
built
of them.
the same way.
But I'm still comping both.
The comparison is receivers who believe that they are number ones that I don't know are number ones.
Do you think Alan Lazard really thought he was number one with Devontae on the team?
Not with Devontae on the team, but when Devontae wasn't on the team, he was the number one. Remember? That was a year that
It was
happened.
2022. It was a great year.
That was
And
a
he
thing.
was he the bona fide number
Yeah,
one?
he led them in receiving.
All right, that's why he missed the playoffs.
That is one of the reasons. Yes.
I was right.
Might have wanted to keep Devontae Adams there. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Less is more. You are basically saying the same things that I said to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning on my drive down, and that is I don't understand what fans are unhappy about. Because, by the way, you got him at this price tag
Because of that.
because of his injuries. And if he had been healthy all this time, based on 35 catches for 611 yards and 6 touchdowns in 10 games is incredible production. And I understand that he missed the first half of the season. He also missed it because of an ACL tear that he suffered in a game he shouldn't have been playing in the first place, and he played because Romeo Doubs was sick. So, and again, he came back on a better timeline than some projected. And by the way, in the 2024 season, when he suffered that ACL tear in the last game of the regular season, he had played in 15 games. So it was not like he had missed a ton of time. I do think when you, for example, leave Denver in an ambulance, people think this guy's injury prone, and that recalcifies that view of him. He played the next week. He didn't miss any games. Has he left some games with injuries that you would have liked for him to still be on the field? Absolutely. But he's missed 20 out of a possible 68 games. It is not great, but there are certainly bigger examples of guys that were sidelined for more. 844-770-3776. Again, that is the Carbless Talk and Text line. List is more. We do want to hear why you don't like this deal. And what I would argue, Tauscher, and this is what I wrote about today too, is that Jayden Reed was concerned after last season, missing all the time he did with the Jones fracture and the broken collarbone. He wanted some security. He had never broken a bone in his life, and last year he broke 2. And he missed all that time in the middle of the season. I think he ended up playing 7 games. So he took less money than he could have gotten had he gambled on himself and played out the season. Christian Watson took less money than he would have gotten on the open market if he stayed healthy. But here's the thing about this if he stayed healthy thing. Why didn't we say that about the signing of Micah Parsons? Because Micah Parsons, by the way, tore his ACL last season, and they never won another game. No one said, well, this is a great deal as long as he stays healthy.
Well, because Micah Parsons, he missed a little bit, his second year?
He did, and he missed, I think, 12. I think he played 12 out of 17 games the previous season.
Because Micah Parsons is viewed as the best at his position. Christian Watson is not. That's why.
Again, I think this is I think we are going to look at these deals and say they got bargains. And I know there are fans that don't agree
I'll
with
say
that.
this. I think that Jayden Reed contract is going to really hold up well. If he is as productive as he was in his first 2 seasons.
Led them in receiving his first 2 years.
Christian Watson, I think you're going to deal. My hunch is he will be in and out of the lineup. I don't think he's going to be a 17-game-a-year guy. That's just not, history would tell you that's not the case. But I don't think he needs to be. I think if he is there, if you can get 13 or 14 games a year from him at that production level that we just talked about, that's going to be fantastic. But Jayden Reed, I would be shocked if he isn't, a bona fide 2 that does everything, Randall Cobb-esque, if you will. If that's the case, he's going to be looking at that, saying the same thing. So the Packers have wisely saw these 2 guys, seen that they've had some injuries, and said, you know what? We're going to take care of these guys. We're going to do it early. They're going to be bought in. And in a room last year that obviously wasn't bought in, we now have that. We also have a clear tierdom of where guys are. And I think the wild card in it is MG. And MG can really – I think he could still be the number 1 receiver on this team. And that contract with Christian Watson still makes a ton of sense.
So –
because – they ain't going to have to pay him for 2 or 3 more years. And at that point, you will know, okay, Christian Watson, this is either, working or it's not. And then Matthew Golden could end up being at that point where I think we all hope, is at the point where you're having the conversation like, man, can we really spend $55 million a year on him? That's the conversation we hope to be
By
having.
the time he hits free agency or is on the verge of it. Yep.
I got a text yesterday afternoon from one of my Bears fan friends that I went to college with, and he said, "Are you as happy with the Christian Watson contract as I am?"
He's a Bears fan.
As a Bears fan, yes. And he said he doesn't see him as a wide receiver one. He doesn't think most people that are football fans see him as a wide receiver one. Are you just
I saw Trey Wingo is seeing it, that he thinks it's an overpay.
Are you viewing the definition of a wide receiver one differently now? Because like tomorrow's the AmFam Championship Celebrity Foursome. Donald Driver and Jordy Nelson are competing. Like they both at different points were wide receiver ones in Green Bay, and we knew that they were, and they were so good. And then obviously Devontae was, and you can look at the history of great wide receiver ones that have come through Green Bay. Do you believe that Christian Watson can fit that same dynamic in an offense like those guys did?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't?
I don't see it the same way, no.
Jesse, I think the problem is that the way the wide receiver room has been structured since 2023, when they had drafted Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson the previous year, and then drafted Wicks and Reed in the 23 draft, those guys you mentioned, they all ascended to being the number one receiver before Christian Watson is being put in that position now in his fifth season. Like 2017 was the year that Devontae became the number one receiver. Jordy Nelson was drafted in 2008. He became the number one receiver in 2011. So we're further down the path with Christian Watson's career without having said, oh, he's the one. Well, guess what? The way they've paid him, the way they've let two guys leave this offseason, has made it clear that they view him as the one. Now, if they're wrong, like they've been wrong on other things, then there's a problem. And they need Matthew Golden to be much better in year two than he was in year one. I would also say this. We said this about the Jordan Love contract, and no one seems to complain about it. No one seems to bring up his $55 million a year salary because it's the cost of doing business. Guess what? With Christian Watson, this is the cost of doing business, and you did it at a discounted rate. So I'm not going to worry about what Bears fans think of this signing. If they want to be joyful about this, let's see what they end up paying Rome Odunze down the road. Let's see what they end up paying Luther Burden
well, I
down
think
the
they
road.
think both of those guys are better than Christian Watson. And
what evidence do we have that those guys are both better than
at
him?
this point, well, they don't have to pay him yet either.
Right.
So I think one of the things that's getting lost on this is if the Packers easily could have not given him that little sprinkler last year, that $13 million and some of that guaranteed money. This is a different conversation. If he would have been an unrestricted free agent or however last year played out,
This is a great point.
that would have been a different starting point in the negotiation.
He would have been hitting the market after what he did in those 10 games
10-game
last year.
run, all of a sudden that price point, this is no longer yesterday's deal. Times changed.
We live in a different world than we lived in 30 seconds
So-
ago, to quote Draft Day.
Exactly. When that is also a part of this, because people are saying, well, he should have waited for more, he should have done this, It's just it is unique to me that you have such strong opinions on both sides of this. To me, it's a no-brainer. This is a great deal for the Green Bay Packers.
We'll get to more